Who's your favorite Danganronpa character? Oh. The door's this way. Danganronpa has a massive selection of unique and amazing characters. Some of their designs are very iconic, and it really brings out the creative side of the Danganronpa team. And if it's not their designs, it's their personality and character that stands out towards the player. Today, I wanted to talk about Danganronpa's most unpopular characters. I decided not to include characters like Akane, or Kazuichi, or even Hifumi, because in my opinion, even if they are unpopular, they aren't forgotten in the mind of the player, unlike the characters I'll be talking about. So I narrowed the choices down to 5 characters. I wouldn't consider them to be the top 5 least popular characters. Terra would take that, but would be the bottom 5 for 3 different categories I'll be talking about with these characters, which are: how important are they to the story? Is their design and character rememberable? And how popular are they in the fandom? I feel like this would be the best course of action when trying to talk about these characters, rather than just listing them from least popular to most popular in the fandom. This way I can talk about them, and even if they are unpopular, still show you, the viewers, why they are still amazing characters and they deserve so much more love and attention than they usually get. The 5 characters I'll be talking about are Mahi Rose, Peka, Ryoma, Kurumi, and Makoto.
Out of your friends, which are you? Truck freak crazy ass. The fire.
Makoto Naegi, the super high school level lucky student, later gaining the title of super high school level hope. Described as just a normal high school student who won a lottery to enter an elite school for talented students called Hope's Peak Academy. I'll start with the most controversial character of the 5, which is Makoto. I may get a lot of flack for this, but just listen me out. I would consider Makoto an unpopular character. Now, me saying they are unpopular does not mean people hate them. Makoto is a very liked character in the series, and I don't see many people just outright hate him. However, if we're gonna compare him to other pro-tags in the series, he isn't exactly the most liked. He doesn't get as much love or attention as they do in their respective game. I'm not exactly sure the reason for this, however I have a couple reasons. One of the reasons may be Makoto's design. His design isn't the most memorable. You could say it is, but I'd argue it's not. We have such a wide variety of bright and colourful characters in the Danganronpa universe. And then we have Makoto. The only problem I have with this reason is that Hajime basically has very similar designs to Makoto, yet is way more popular than Makoto is. However, this shouldn't go against the fact that Makoto is a very important character to the series, probably the most important character next to Junko, Kameda, etc. However, from the levels I've seen, it's more so people put him at a neutral stance rather than a love or a dislike, which can't be said for the other characters in the series, which mostly get love or hate relationships. Mahi Rose, the super high school level photographer, is a short redhead who loves photography and wants to help others, but often speaks her mind out loud too much, causing people to get on her case more. Many people hate Mahi Rose when you don't see her free time events, and I'm not really surprised. The game doesn't help her character development at all and kills off way too quickly for the player to get involved or even learn more about her. One reason I see people hate on her a lot is because she often yells towards the boys of the group. Like a certain someone, this just causes people to call Mahi Rose off as annoying when in her free time events she explains that her father was a terrible parent and tries to tell the boys to be way more polite because she doesn't want them to end up like a terrible parent, just like her father. However, the way she goes about this isn't the best, and it just comes off as annoying to players, which again brings up my point that she died way too quickly for the player to realize or even see this. And you don't really get to see this at the end of the game when you're doing the free times on your own. Mahi Rose also has a soft spot for taking photos of people's smiles, as she would love to do that as a child when her mother would show her pictures. And we can see this throughout the game where Mahi Rose likes to take pictures of people smiling. Her design isn't the most memorable, as it's kind of just a plain outfit, and because of this she isn't really too recognizable against the other characters who have really bright and unique outfits. However, her hair is one of her most defining features towards her character design. This is one of the things people recognize from her character the most. She does play an important role towards Fuyuhiko and his arc with his sister. However, apart from this, she doesn't really get recognized as much as other characters in the series. Peka Yama, the super high school level swordswoman. She often appears very emotionless upon first meeting, but but you later find out she's doesn't really express herself much due to her history with the Kuzuryu clan. Yet another case with Mahi where she died way too early within the story, which means the player just couldn't get a good attachment or grasp of their character development or personality. And one glaring problem that, in my opinion, I feel like is very prominent with Peka is that it seems like more people care about her relationship with Fumihiko than they do just for herself. I'm not saying everybody feels this way, but from my experience, it feels like a lot more people care more about them as a pair or a ship rather than just their characters separately. And it really does not help in Peka's case where she was just killed off way too early. Yes, I can understand why they are shipped so close together, but I really feel like people focus that on way too more than their actual characters. And if this isn't the case, then people just throw Peka into a very low tier because Fuyuhiko got a way better development than her. I would like to consider Peka's design more memorable than other certain characters, even if it's just a simple uniform. The colours that she uses, being red and black, really make her stand out. The red eyes help even bring more flavour to her design, especially considering that in her execution, we see her eyes light up, showing the outline of her body more. She really brings a lot to the table, and it's a shame that it feels like she brings out more for Fuyuhiko's story than her actual story, which in a way you could say it's actually in character of her. Also, she's pretty cute, so she automatically goes from who tier to I would take the Burger King tier. These two characters are really fantastic. However, they both suffer from something I like to call the Chapter 2 curse. For the second and third game in the series, it seems that the characters that died and got killed in Chapter 2 become a lot more forgotten than the other characters in the series. However, it could tie into their character development being cut way too short. Now on to Ryoma Hoshi, the super high school level tennis pro. He's a very short guy who lacks a lot of confidence in his well-being as a person and often talks about not having a will to live. He is also referred to as a prisoner within the game because, well, he killed members of an unnamed organization. Ryoma's a very forgotten character for the wrong reasons. I think he isn't very well remembered for the fact that Danganronpa V3's story just kind of threw everything out the window. And you can really tell because of this that only certain characters are really important to the ending of the game. For this reason, I think Ryoma just kind of got stuck in their own little Chapter 2 bubble that didn't really focus on him until he died.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
I do think this is the first time, though, that a Danganronpa character has gone suicidal thoughts in the killing game. We can see this in Chapter 1 with the killing wall, where he offers himself for everybody to live. It's not like with Sakura, where she decided to die right there and then, but Ryoma had this before the killing game even started. His design is pretty nice, and I do think it can be rememberable. He gives off a lot of prisoner vibes with the chain and the fake cigar. However, there's one problem with Ryoma. He's small. Small characters like this are kind of just passed over. Like, yes, Chihiro is small, but not 3'5" small. I'm just thankful we didn't get this design. And as mentioned, he isn't very popular, getting last place, or second last place in most polls that I see online for the game. And lastly, we have Kurumi Tojo, the super high school level maid. This tall lady is once again similar traits as Peko, with being very emotionless and dedicated to her job. Not the exact same though, their reasons are completely different. She has these rules that she sticks by, and tells the player that she can't go out of order with them, as she wants to say the ultimate maid. Kurumi just kinda goes off by what she knows, she doesn't really express her own feelings, because that's what she's all used to. Her design is yet again rememberable, and it fits her character well. She also basically gets compared to 2B from Nier Automata on a daily. Is she rememberable to the story? Yeah, no. Just like how Ryoma gets stuck in his own little subplot, once it's over it's just forgotten forever. The same thing happens with Kurumi. It's not like with the second game where Peko has Fuyuhiko to still talk about her throughout the game, or with Mahi, how Hyoko sets up different stands of her photography work. Kurumi and Ryoma are just kinda gone. They never get brought up again. Well, very rarely at least. They don't have those supportive characters by their side like Peko and Mahira had within their stories, which in my opinion creates them to be the most forgotten characters in the series. Like, yes, the amount of people that hate Hifumi is large, but they still remember who he is. Is she popular in the fandom? Just like Ryoma, basically last place or second last place in the polls. She gets way more fan art than Ryoma. However, comparing to the other cast of characters, not by much. And recently, their character polls and character popularity can go either way. They're both kinda just stuck at the bottom. And that's my opinion of the top 5 most unpopular characters in this series. I could go on about these characters forever, and they all bring a lot of great and interesting things to them that people enjoy and love about them. I'm not sure if anyone agrees with me on these choices, but in recent times, these characters gain a lot more love and attention than they ever did when the games first came out, and I'm so happy to see that, honestly. It helps people who are new to the series get invested in each character rather than just a selected few. If you have any discussion points, I'll happily love to hear them in the comments and have a discussion about this. However, I'm not going to start one of these waifu wars, because in reality, I would put Kokichi over Peka and take him to Five Guys.